A few housekeeping items before we get started. Today's session will be recorded. Most of you at this point in the pandemic are familiar with Zoom, but we'll do a quick overview just to make sure that you're feeling comfortable with all the interactions. We ask you that you keep your microphones muted throughout the presentation. As it's recorded, it keeps the feedback and the background noise down. So please keep your microphones muted. But we do encourage you to use other forms of communicating with us throughout today's session. And if you look on the screen here, we encourage the use of chat. Actually, now is a great time to test it out and make sure it works. I'm personally joining you from my home office here in Victoria, British Columbia, but I would love to know where in the world you're joining us from and what's the weather like? Here in Greater Victoria, we always like to ask people what the weather is like. So please, in the chat, if you can comment where in the world you're joining us from and what the weather is like today. Awesome. Thank you. I see some chats coming through here now. Warmer than Edmonton, yes. Wonderful. And also, you can raise your hand on the side there. You can see the raise your hand button. That's a way that we'll use in the question and answer at the end of the session. And reactions too. If you want to give me a thumbs up or a smiley face or a laugh cry face, you can do that with the reactions button in Zoom as well. Thank you. And before any presentation at Royal Roads University, we like to acknowledge the land that we live, work, and play on. Royal Roads University acknowledges that we live, learn, and work on the traditional lands of the Kosetsum and Lekwungen ancestors and families. And a warm welcome to Dr. Charles Krusikov, Program Head. He will be sharing information about the Master of Business Administration and Executive Management program and taking you through the majority of the presentation today. We are also pleased to welcome Stuart Woodcock, a current MBA student who is joining us today to share his insight and experience with the program. My name is Imara Angus, and I will be co-hosting today's session alongside Andrea Torre Lopez. And in addition, we have enrollment advisors monitoring the chat throughout today's session. So feel welcome to ask any questions or comment as they come up throughout today's session. And we will also have time at the end for questions. A quick agenda, a welcome and get to know everyone. Now is actually a great time to launch a poll and see what part of the MBA program that you're most interested in. So I'm going to launch a poll here. Wonderful. So you can see the poll there. I'll leave it up for about 30 seconds. And please, you're welcome to select more than one option. I know that many of you are joining us today and not sure what delivery model and what you're wanting to learn more about. So you're welcome to select more than one option. And today we're also going to do a brief overview of the Royal Roads University experience, program-specific information, hear from our MBA student, Stuart, the application process and requirements, and questions answered throughout in the chat and a question and answer period at the end. Wonderful. I'll leave the poll up for one more second here. Okay, kind of all over the map then. Wonderful. And here at Royal Roads, next slide. It's a small detail, but you'll notice we go out of our way to learn your first name fast, to get to know you. This simple personal gesture conveys a deeper philosophical position for us. It reminds us that your path here is personal and it's solely yours and unique. And it is deserving of our attention in a way that is as fitting to you as your name is. And we understand that life is also an education. Not all learning takes place in the classroom, even here, especially here. We value and respect students who arrive with a variety of life and educational experiences. We think flexibly about admission and take into consideration professional qualifications that go beyond previous grades and degrees. Life is the biggest school of all, and we happily accept its credits. There's no in, here, and out there, no division between theory and practice. You learn from scholar practitioners, study with seasoned professionals, and put research to practical application. And education isn't about putting your life and career on pause. It's about bringing them to an entirely new place and a whole other level. And Royal Roads University is a leader for change and social innovation and has been recognized with its designation as an Ashoka U Changemaker Campus. The Ashoka U Changemaker Campus Network is a dynamic global community of more than 40 universities and colleges committing to advancing social innovation and change making across institution and beyond. And Royal Roads is located in Victoria, the capital of British Columbia, a vibrant city on the southern tip of Vancouver Island. The region is full of attractions from year-round festivals and events, and we have a thriving culinary scene here, not to mention lots of hiking and outdoor activities. And you'll see here, the top left is Hatley Castle. That's the castle that we have on campus. And on the top right, that's the beauty of the Esquimalt Lagoon, which can also be seen from campus. And then Charlie's Trail on the bottom left, that's one of my favorite places to go for a lunchtime walk on campus. And here at Royal Roads University, we've been leaders in online learning for over 25 years. And now I'm excited to welcome Dr. Charles Krusikov up to tell us more about the program structure and the MBA program.
Okay, thank you very much. So yes, the question's already come up in terms of the program structure, and so I'll address that in terms of being online. And the short answer is the July intake, the next intake will be online. Given all the uncertainty, we're probably not all going to have our vaccines by July, and there'll be a lot of travel disruption still. So the July intake will be fully online for that intake, the normal residency that would occur. And we've just developed the dates and all for that. And I'll talk a little bit more about that and answer any questions. The January intake, which would be the next intake, January 2022, is projected to be back on campus. And I am optimistic that we will be on campus and run that as a regular blended program where we would have the 3 weeks on campus, which occur, I think, very late January, early February. So I will discuss those things. So I am Charles Krusikov. I'm actually here on Metchosin, BC, just west of the campus near Souk on the traditional territories closest to the Skianu First Nation at Beecher Bay. So very, very proud to be here and happy to be joining you today and to talk about the program. So we're going to go through some of the different aspects of the program structure, including the 18 and 31-month programs. And I put a little note there to say, remember to ask Stuart, who's out there, will be addressing this, because he was telling me he started, I believe, in the 18-month program and then switched to the 31-month, or I forget, it may have been vice versa, but he can talk a little bit more from the student perspective about that. So the way the program is structured is that, and I saw that everyone had indicated that they're interested in the blended offering. We do have an on-campus offering for the first time that we're going to be instituting. It's going to start this time in January 2022, but I'm going to talk mainly here about the blended offerings. So the program itself is either 18 or 31 months. And really what that means is that you do more rapid, more online courses so that you can complete faster in the 18-month program. And you do fewer online courses at one time as you're doing the 31-month program. So it's the exact same program, the exact same courses, you just do them at a little slower pace to give you a bit more space for your work, for your life in the 31-month program. So again, exact same program in both models. It's just the pace of the online courses that you have. Now I'm going to speak to the traditional sort of blended delivery that Royal Roads has had now. This MBA program has been running for more than 20 years, and we've always run it as a blended program where we have residencies on campus. We currently have 2 3-week residencies on campus, one at the beginning of the program and one at the end of the program. Students in both the 18 and 31-month programs will take the same residency together, right? So you'll You'll start online. You have a few weeks online, kind of orientation, get some classes started. You start your writing class, and then you'll come normally on campus for a 3-week time period. So in January 2022, that's what you'll do. You would start, I think it's January 3rd, right at the beginning of the year. You'll start the program online. You spend a few weeks online, and then right at the end of January 2022, you would come on campus for 3 weeks. And then you would go back into the online format either for about a year if you're in the 18-month program, or for 2 years if you're in the 31-month program. Then you come back on campus for your final residency. Now, note, pandemic occurring, our last 2 residencies intakes have been in a fully online format because Royal Roads is not currently holding any classes on campus. And as I say, we just don't see a pathway where we would be able to offer this July intake in an on-campus format. So the July intake will occur in a fully online format. This will be the 3rd time we've done this. The team, we've worked really, really hard to pull this together and do it in a way, and I can connect you with students who have gone through that experience if you have some questions. I myself am a student in a Royal Roads program in the Executive Coaching Graduate Certificate Program, and that program is fully online as well. I've never met my classmates face to face, and I can say it's a very interesting and kind of remarkable to me at how well you can get to know people and bond together even in a fully online format. So that residency, what we would have you do is at the beginning of the time period of the program, we've blocked off, I think it's a 7-day time period when you would be asked to fully commit your days so that you wouldn't work or do other things during those days. And you'll have class sessions from roughly 8 a.m. Pacific time until 4 or 5 in the afternoon. And you will have different team activities, different things that you'll be working with. And we found that format where you're fully immersed, it helps you get to know the other people in the cohort. It helps you to get to know your classmates, your teammates that you'll be working with, and really bond as a cohort in the same way that people have traditionally done in our 3-week on-campus effort. We know that everyone has a bit of Zoom fatigue. You don't want to do 3 weeks full-time online, so therefore we do it for about a week, and then we continue classes that are held either early in the morning or later in the early evening Pacific time, so that people can go back to work or do other things while they're continuing on in the what we call residency period, and the courses unfold. So we've done this, as I say, it's worked really, really well. And I've been very impressed at both the team and the students themselves. You know, at the end of it, they report, many of them, that they really, really enjoyed it. It allows us to bring in some more speakers and do different things. And you get to know your students in a different way because they're all broadcasting from their home places. So it's been an interesting experiment for us and a learning time. In January 2022, we hope to come back to the on-campus residency. As I said, we are starting a fully on-campus program. I'll talk about it in just a minute. I have a slide on it. So in terms of the 18-month versus the 31-month program, the 18-month program, you generally take 2 online courses. So all the programs will have this residency period. You will, during that residency period, be completing multiple classes right now in this online format, but we've divided them up, and trust me, we've done this in a way that it's quite manageable for you to do in terms of completing those courses over what we call that residency period. Then if you're in the 18-month program, you generally would be taking 2 courses online in each term, in the distance terms. And in the 31-month program, you generally would be taking 1 distance course at a time. And so it just stretches out the amount of time it takes to complete the program, but you do it at a bit of a slower pace. The on-campus program lasts for about 18 months, and the courses for the first year, the first 12 months, are fully on campus at Royal Roads. And then you'll do your specialization courses together with the students from the blended program. And most of those specializations are offered in a online blended format. Some of them have short residencies. We take students abroad. There's the opportunity to go to Europe, the opportunity to go to Asia, and other things. But in general, those specializations are offered in an online format. Next slide, please. Okay, within the program and some of the aspects and what students tell us are really important pieces of the program. So everyone in the program does what's called an organizational management project. And this is a research project where you're able to develop and utilize your research skills on a project of your choosing for a client organization. Sometimes it's your own company or organization. Sometimes it's, and we encourage you to choose a different organization so that you gain some other experience. And one thing in general in the program, people are using the program for different purposes. Sometimes people want the degree, the MBA, so that they can move up in their current organization or in their current career. Sometimes people want to pivot within their own industry. I have some experience with my employer. I get the MBA, it makes me more saleable within my industry. I want to pivot to another job in my industry. Other people want to change their career trajectory. We have a number of people in the program who are attracted, for example, by our management consulting specialization option that I'll talk about. They're looking, they say, look, I have 20 years of experience as an HR professional. I want to move from working full-time with my employer to perhaps working part-time or working on my own as a consultant, or shifting to a different organization or career path. So they use the program and opportunities such as this organizational management project to shift their trajectory. So maybe I want to gain experience with another field or another organization, and I can use my OMP to do that. The specializations are another way. You can personalize the program in a way. You get to choose from the huge range of specializations, and I'm going to talk about we have almost 30 specialization options that you'll be able to choose from within the program, and so you can really tailor those to your own career. And then finally, our second residency, which for you guys, because you're starting now, and the pandemic surely is going to be over by the time you guys come back for your second residency, no matter if you're in the 18 or the 31 month. We're projecting the second residencies, which have been held online as well, successfully, but we're projecting those will be back on campus as well. In that second residency, we bring in companies who present to you not their problems, but their business model and their business. And these are usually growing companies in different fields. We just had 2 companies in the food business. We've had companies in technology, in manufacturing, and other businesses, usually from the Victoria, Vancouver area. They present to you information about the company, and then you work in teams with your classmates to analyze the internal structures of the business, the external structures, and then make recommendations on new opportunities to improve the business operations internally and their external opportunities as well. So you get to work with your team basically as consultants for these companies. And we do this in a design framework where you're really brainstorming new ideas and then presenting them back to the company in this live business challenge. So people really enjoy that experience. Stuart just finished his fully online, and he could talk a little bit about that and his own experience with the OMP. All right, next slide. A new option that we have available, and some of you may be interested, and I saw actually 1 or 2 MBA students or alums in there. So you may be interested, we have an MBA MGM dual degree, and we have some webinars where we talk more extensively, and we have a new one coming up soon, and we've had some that are recorded that we've done in the past as well. So if you're really interested in this, happy to talk to you about it. This is where you can do your MBA with Royal Roads and then complete that either sequentially, where you go pretty much from one program over into the next program, into the Master of Global Management, or you can take some time off, you can graduate, be an alum for a few years, and then come back and complete the other program. So we may have some MGM alums or students out there as well who are interested in looking at the MBA program. And basically what we do here is we recognize a number of credits that you've done in the other program so that you don't have to complete the whole program. So, you've already taken accounting, you've taken finance, you've taken a number of courses. You don't have to retake those in the second program, but you still get to take the specializations. You can do a research project, those sorts of things to complete both degrees and achieve both degrees. So you get to complete 2 programs in less time, less costs. So happy to talk with you more about that and answer any specific questions about that. Now, we are launching a new on-campus program option. It says fall 2021. It does start in November in an online format and then comes on campus to start in January 2022. Again, probably the first time we'll be able to really host students back on campus. So this program will be full-time. Your classes will be fully on campus at Royal Roads for about a year. So you'll do a series of the classes. Again, same program, same classes. It's just instead of doing it in the residency, the blended residency and online format, you'll be taking those classes over more traditional 9 or 10 week terms on campus. So this is a new program that we're launching. We have a lot of experience with our Master of Global Management program offered on campus. It also has a blended option for that dual degree option. But that's mainly been international students who are seeking Canadian work authorization in parts and that postgraduate work permit. So the MBA on campus will be an opportunity for students who want to come to Royal Roads for a fully on-campus program that meets all of the requirements under that. So again, this will be same admission standards, et cetera, same program. It's just going to be offered in a new format. Okay. Our specializations. So this is something that I've worked on. I'm really about giving people choice and allowing people to have a wide range of choice within their program to be able to personalize, because I know you guys come from a huge variety of organizations. It's one of the strengths of our program, really, is that people come from different companies, different industries, different sectors across Canada. You see the people you're saying where you're coming in from. I mean, this is true in our program. We probably have roughly a third of the students from BC, maybe a third from Alberta, and then a third from the rest of Canada and around the world that come into our blended program. So wide variety, quite a few people from government, from nonprofits, and then from small businesses, family-owned businesses, up to major corporations. So we get this huge range of people, and people are in HR, people are in finance, people are in IT, and a lot of different areas. And the specializations are a time when you can either expand your horizons or focus in on an area that you want to build, continue to build. And so what we've built these around is Royal Roads has about 25 graduate certificates that are available to people. And so we allow you to take a graduate certificate program at Royal Roads, any of the Royal Roads graduate certificates, and utilize that in the program. If you already have a graduate certificate, or you want to enroll and take the graduate certificate before starting your MBA, that's fine. You can transfer those credits. You can do that graduate certificate first, and then bring the credits into the MBA program, and it will count as your specialization. You'll get a dual credential. Basically, all the students, or almost all the students in the program, will get their MBA plus a graduate certificate credential in the field of interest. And these really align with different professional designations. And I think our next slide shows some of these different specializations. So here's just some examples of the graduate certificates and specializations. We have international specializations offered by the MBA program. So these include international business programs where you can go to Europe, to our partner school, Grenoble Graduate School of Business, and do a 2-week program that's offered each September. Or you can go to Asia in each March. We do some online courses, and then we take the group to Asia. So my own specialization is in international business, international economics, trade, and in Asia. I have a China studies and Mongolia. I do a lot of work in Mongolia, and have taken 4 or 5 MBA groups over to Asia and plan to go to Asia spring 2022. You guys would be going potentially at a later date, but we always go to at least a pair of cities. For example, in the next group, we're thinking to go to Ho Chi Minh City, to Vietnam, and then to Singapore, for example, or Tokyo and Ho Chi Minh. We've gone to Seoul, Shanghai, Hong Kong, Taipei. So we've taken students to a variety of different places in Asia, and we look at the Asia Pacific in general and doing business, both business customs and looking at the region as a potential market and partner for Canada. Other specializations that we offer, very popular, management consulting. This is aligned with the Certified Management Consultant designation. I believe we're the largest school and program producing certified management consultants in Canada. We have a close relationship with CMC Canada, and the program gives you the academic hours you need, and then you document your consulting hours in order to get your professional certified management consultant designation. So management consulting has been a very popular stream within our program, how to be and conduct yourself as a professional management consultant, whether that's an internal consultant or external. Leadership, we have a leadership specialization, really people who want to dive deeper into those important and most difficult to me, the soft skills in business in terms of leading teams, leading the company aspects, and with some special look at global leadership, different leadership styles in different contexts, and this piece of emotional intelligence, which is so important in business success. So those are our faculty within the Faculty of Management who are offering those. Then we have these other graduate certificates that Royal Roads itself offers, mostly through their professional studies options. And there's a wide variety of these. As I mentioned, I'm doing the executive coaching to be a certified coach with the IFC, or ICF, the International Coach Federation. There are also certifications and specializations in graduate certificates you can do through change management, where you can get your change management certification, project management, human resources, and there's corporate social innovation. We have a new one in social finance, how to finance social ventures and efforts. You want to look at how to do housing, for example, social housing, new ways to look at finance for something like that. There's several in the environment area. So there's just a really wide range, and you could look on the Royal Roads website. Again, there's 25 of these. I'm not going to list them all here, but you can really choose any of those as your specializations. And as I say, you can do these graduate certificates prior to starting the program, or you can do them, then there is a time block in the program where you can complete your graduate certificate specialization. Yes, look, I'm ahead of my time. So this is just showing you, and if any of you have done a graduate certificate already through Royal Roads, we will accept that as transfer credit into the program. You're already 9 credits towards the program, save you a bit of time and money when you're in the program. Most people do them as part of their MBA, You can also come back. We get a lot of people who are interested. I was just talking to a student who's come now on 3 of our Asia trips. He's really eager to go on our next one because we're always choosing new cities, doing new things. Some people say, well, I want to do maybe the leadership, but I want to come back later and do management consulting. All of these are independent graduate certificates. You're able to come back even after you complete your MBA and do any of the graduate certificates as well. Lifelong learning. So we do, I partnered together with Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, for some more technical specialization options. For those of you who want to do something more on the engineering and operations end, MITx, which is their online venture through edX, offers what they call MicroMasters. And you do a MOOC program that lasts for about 12 months and complete one of these MicroMasters. And these are offered by MIT. And if you're interested in this, I'm happy to talk with you about how it works and what some of the challenges are. They're not Royal Roads classes, so some of the timing maybe is not perfect within the program. It does take a bit longer, but they're offered as MOOCs, so you can start working on these at any time. Before you start the program, we just recognize the credit when you finished your MicroMaster. So those include things like supply chain management, statistics and data science, manufacturing, finance. These are more technical things that Royal Roads doesn't have a specialization in, and we wanted to open that up and make it available for you. All right. Yeah, Stuart, our famous MBA almost graduate. I think you're pretty well done. Just
almost there. Hello, everybody. Just welcome to this webinar. Just I'm a bit of a unicorn because I started off in the 18-month program and I switched over to the 31-month program. I did my first residency on campus and I did my last residency online. And I believe I was one of the last groups to go to Grenoble. So I'm sure I can answer a lot of questions.
Awesome. Well, welcome, Stuart. We're so happy to have you here today. I have a short bio to introduce you so everybody kind of can hear a bit about your background and where you're coming from. So I will read that out here. So Stuart started his Royal Roads MBA journey at the age of 54 years old. With his extensive operations, business development, and operational excellence with hospitality companies and entrepreneurs, Stuart realized that an MBA was necessary to further his career options. Stuart delayed his post-secondary education due to his concern that his dyslexia would hold him back in the Royal Roads MBA program's fast pace. Stuart completed his second residency 2 weeks ago and the completion of his MBA. This was made possible by Royal Roads support. This sounds like a testimonial. We're going to have to get a testimonial from you later too, but this was made possible by Royal Roads support and the strong bonds created with the cohorts. Royal Roads University balances the academic deliverables while allowing students to stay focused on their careers and family. The friendships and professional networks that Royal Roads helps to establish will continue long after graduation. And Stuart, I love this line that you shared with me, that it is somewhat a leap of faith, but as you will learn, trust the process. So I think we should all welcome Stuart with a little kind of round of applause. There's a little function there if everybody wants to react with a round of applause. Welcome, Stuart. We have some questions for you.
Certainly.
Wonderful. So the first question is, what motivated you to go back to school for an MBA?
Well, throughout my career, I had, the 25, 30 years of work experience. And there's always that edge of sword you stand on. You have to have the experience and you have to have the educations. Some people do their education first and then they work on their careers, or you do it vice versa. Like I mentioned, I postponed doing post-secondary because of my dyslexia, and I realized that sooner or later you just have to face it head on and go with it. So my motivation was it was twofold. It was personal. I wanted to prove to myself that I could actually do my master's, and it was also, it just sort of clarifies and cements that knowledge that you have, but you know, sometimes throughout your career, you work with people who have MBAs or have post-secondary, and you know, it's almost like that imposter syndrome. Do you feel, are you the right person in the right role? So I think, you know, I think for anything that you do, you should probably do it for yourself, because that's what's going to help you motivate yourself through the program.
Awesome, thank you. And thank you for sharing such an honest answer. And the next question is, how are you balancing work, home life, and school? And please give me some advice, because I know it's always a struggle balancing that integration.
Well, I started off in the 18-month program, and you know, it was for me, it was a bit overwhelming, because the first residence, you know, you're doing 3 courses, you're getting used to, like, look, I'm not an academic. You know, I'm a person who has a lot of life and work experience. So learning, you know, APA, learning concise writing, learning to be mindful, these are all the things that, you know, serves you well. So balancing, I made the decision that, you know, 2 courses at the same time with work and family was just a bit too much. That's why after residence 1, I went to the 31-month program. And again, personal decision, right? Do you do it for yourself, and you want to enjoy the process, and you want to, you know, be able to concentrate on 1 course versus 2? Or if you're, you know, if your situation's different and you can handle it, basically you're looking at another 20 hours a week per course. So, you know, I think that's an individual decision based on the support you have at home, the support you have at work. I know some people in the 18-month program whose work was very accommodating, and they basically were able to take every Friday off to work on school. You know, I think again, it's a very personal decision, and I think you have to make those arrangements between, you know, work, family, and which direction you take.
That's a great answer. It really is all about finding that balance and what works for you. The next question we have for you is, what has your online residency experience been like so far?
That was interesting, because I was in residence 1. And I was in the 18, because like Charles was mentioning, when you first start, you're in classes with 18-month students and with 31 months. So you form a really tight bond, but we also did that online. Also, there was our 31-month group was working with a group of 18-monthers, because of how the intakes were. We had never met before, so we were able to develop, you know, some bonds there. I think once you get to residence, you know, I'm speaking only for online residence 2. I think after you've done a year or 2 years of online, it's just 2 or 3 more courses, or 2 more weeks. I think with the pandemic, everybody is so used to working with Zoom. It's probably a lot easier now to get used to doing it online versus what it might have been prior to the pandemic.
That's very true. I think we're all adapting to the world of Zoom pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And that kind of transitions into the next question quite nicely, is what has your cohort experience been like in regards to long-lasting learning relationships and long-lasting relationships with the people?
Well, that's you know, why do you do post-secondary? Why do you go to university? There's the educational piece, and it's the personal development, but you're meeting like-minded people. There's only so many people that will put themselves through the workload, and you know, there's a lot of people that on the outside will criticize, oh, it's only an MBA, but until you're in it, and you do it, and you start building those relationships, like, you know, Brian's on this chat, and I did my 18-month with Brian before I switched out. So, you know, we still have our WhatsApp chat rooms from all of our groups and all of our individual teams. So, you know, even after the program, if I need help with an HR issue, I reach out to Leah, who's senior leader in HR. If I have a question about security, I reach out to Dawn. If I have information about financing and banking, I reach out to Rob in Manitoba. So I think your network just gets that much bigger, and because you've been in the trenches with these people, you have a lot more in common.
Awesome. And I know you've answered this a bit throughout with the other questions we asked, but are there any other advantages that have emerged from learning online for you?
Well, I think the online learning is the adaptability, is that, we all keep our own hours, right? And, some people are more productive at 3 o'clock in the morning, some are productive at 10 o'clock. So I think the online is the multitasking, being able to somewhat work at your own pace. Like, you don't have to, yes, there are certain blocks of, this guest speaker is speaking from this hour or these 2 hours, or you have a class for an hour in the morning, but then it's time management, and you can work it out whichever way you want. So I think that was the advantage for me, is I could fit school into my schedule versus the other way around. That makes any sense?
The programs are definitely designed to fit into schedules and to work with you as you work. And then the last question is there anything else that you'd like to share with people on this webinar and tuning in, and people considering this program?
Well, I think if people have come this far to watch or to participate in this webinar, they've already in their mind they've been thinking about it for a while. I just say, just go for it. It's only 18 months, or it's only 31 months out of your life. And it's something that you're going to, cherish, and the relationships and, the sense of accomplishment is, in my opinion, is worth it. And it can sound overwhelming when you first get the syllabus and you start seeing all the courses and the timelines, but you have to realize it's one course or 2 courses at a time. And the way it's structured, where it's all cohort based, so you're working with a team. So you'll have like one individual paper, you'll have a team paper, and then you might finish with another individual. So it's not a competition amongst members of the cohort, it's the support between the members in the cohort. So there's been many times at night where we've got on our own Zooms and just walk through a format or a problem. So like I say, it's what you make of it for yourself. But I think my suggestion is you just go for it, because in 5 or 6 years, you look back and say, well, 18 months wouldn't have been that much time, or 31 months wouldn't have been that time. And like I said, I started mine when I was 54 years old. It's doable, and it was nice having, being able to talk to people that are coming up in their careers with past experiences and that sharing of information. So like I say, just, dig in and get it done.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you for the advice. I feel like the things you shared with us today, we could use towards this program and just life in general. So thank you for taking the time.
Oh, you're welcome.
Really, really appreciate it. And I'm sure everyone here is appreciating your insight.
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn also. If anybody wants to just go to my profile on LinkedIn, I'm more than happy to take a phone call or, chat and, get into more detail, because like I say, it's something I put off for 20 years. And looking back, I kick myself a bit, but I'm just glad that I got it done.
And here you are. You're here now, right?
Here I am. Yep.
Wonderful. Thank you. So the next step is how to apply. And I'm going to welcome Andrea up, and she's going to take you through the application process.
Thank you, Mara, and hi, everyone. So I'm going to walk you through the applications process and how to apply. So next slide, please. So at Royal Roads, there's 2 ways that we assess your application. One can be through standard admissions, and the second one is through flexible admissions. However, when you're applying to Royal Roads, you don't have to click or check a box where you identify to yourself to either or. Most of the time, the person that is assessing your application will decide if you're coming through standard or flexible admissions. So for standard admissions, we are looking for students or people that have completed a 4 years or comparable undergrad degree in a related field from a recognized post-secondary institution. And we are looking at least around 7 years of full-time relevant work experience with 3 years at the management level. And we're looking for that increasing of level of responsibility. We are also looking for students that demonstrate writing and numeracy skills to succeed in this program. This is a requirement mostly because we want you to be successful into the program. And we have seen that students that maybe have been out of school for a long time and they want to shape those skills, they take the academic writing courses, academic writing and critical course at Royal Roads, or the accounting preparatory courses. Next slide. For flexible admissions are those candidates that maybe they don't have 4 years of undergrad degree, but on the other hand, they have many, many years of work experience. So those applicants normally will require 10 years of full-time business-related work experience. And once again, we want to see that increasing levels of responsibility. We understand everybody's path is slightly different. So if you are unsure if you have all the requirements either for flexible admissions or standard admissions, before you make that decision, feel free to reach out to us because everybody's journey is slightly different, and our paths, that is what makes this program so rich, because all of us, our path has been slightly different. And to help to prepare those students into the MBA program, flexible admissions applicants will be normally required to take the academic writing and critical thinking course, as well as the accounting through our continuous studies courses. Something that I want to say about, I did a program at Royal Roads. I did another master program in the MBA, in the School of Business. It was not the MBA, it was the MGM program. And something that I would say the people that came through flexible admissions in some time were the people that challenged the most the way of me doing things. And I respect and appreciate that different point of view. And I know Stuart spoke about that kind of balance between the education and the work experience and how much you are bringing into the class and how much we get to learn from your classmates. So as I mentioned in the last 2 slides about flexible or standard admissions, Royal Roads offer those 2 courses, the financial accounting course and the academic writing and critical thinking. Some of the students will be non-mandatory to take this course. However, we hear from many students that they wish they knew about these courses before they took the program, just because it helped them to get up to speed into that academic world. Some of the students have been out of school for many, many years, and writing for business is slightly different than writing in an academic mindset. Next slide. So for our key dates, we have the next intake for the 18 and 30 months option is July 19, and the application will be April 19, 2021. For our on-campus program, the first intake is November 15, 2021, and the application deadline will be August 15, 2021. If you have any questions about the application or the courses that I just shared with you, Kelsey from the international team and Tracy from the domestic team will be able to assist you with any of those questions. And now the most exciting piece, how to apply. So first you will need to complete an online application. The cost is $126.28. And after that, you will need to submit the following documents. The first one are official transcripts, and they have to be the original copies. So now a lot of the universities give you, or colleges give you the option to send those directly to Royal Roads. So if you have that option, I will highly recommend it. So it's not that you have to order the transcripts and then send it to us. If you haven't, or if you don't remember how you did in the past in the school, I highly recommend to get 1 transcript for yourself, and then the other one that will be sent directly to Royal Roads. The next one is a detailed resume. So we are not looking for a business resume. We normally, when you're applying to a job, those are 2 pages. However, for this resume, you can submit as many pages. So it's normal for us to see 4+ pages on your resume because we want to see your progression in your career. We want to know about any credit program that you have done. Let's say if you did few diploma courses and then maybe you finish your undergrad degree, we want to see all that undergrad degree experience that you have. If you have taken maybe a non-credit courses, we want to see those ones as well. Any work experience, we want to see that journey and that progression that we have been talking in the admissions component. So we highly encourage you to not only write the title of your job and the time that you were in each of the roles, but also to give us a small description of what kind of responsibilities you had in each of those roles. Maybe if you were leading people, if you were leading projects, are any other skills that you think would be relevant for us to know that you got to learn during those jobs. The next one is the personal statement or the statement of intent. And I always said it was my favorite document when I applied into Royal Roads because it gave me the opportunity to kind of slow down and ask myself the question, why do I want to apply to Royal Roads and why do I want to apply to this program? So basically, there is a specific questions that we want to hear from you, but basically we want to know about your motivations, why you're applying to this program, how this program will fit in your personal and professional life, what are you bringing into the program, what is your area of expertise? And the next one is a writing sample, and the last document are 2 letters of reference. And I always encourage people, if you feel comfortable, to share your personal statement with the people that are writing those letters of reference. So they have a better idea what you're applying to the program, and maybe they can talk about specific or describe a specific project or experience that you had together. Those letters of reference, they can come by email. If they're coming by email, they have to be from a professional email. Next slide. Financial aid, and I just saw Tracy share more details about the application and the guidelines. So I highly encourage you to go into our chat and visit that link that Tracy shared, because you will find more and more details on that one. Financial aid is something that I always encourage everyone that is planning or looking to apply into a Royal Roads to connect with our advisors. There are many loans or scholarship that will be available for you depending on the province that you are located, the program that you're planning to apply. Maybe if you're starting with a graduate certificate and then planning to transfer into an MBA program, there might be different options available for you. So if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact us and we can provide more details of what financial aid will be available for you. And the enrollment services. So if you would like to connect with the enrollment team, we have listed 2 contacts there. The first one is for any domestic Canadian citizen or permanent resident students. You can reach out to Tracy and her team. We have listed her phone number and their email there. If you're an international student, Kelsey and her team would be more than happy to connect with you. And we have listed there as well their email. So if you have questions, please reach out and we would love to hear from you. Back to you, Amara.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Andrea. I see the chat is alive right now with so many questions and answers throughout. And now that brings us to the end of our session and we have time for questions. So I would invite people, if they're comfortable, to turn on their video and we can do a quick question and answer if there's any questions that come up. Awesome. Charles, is there anything that you'd like to add from any of the questions that you've seen in the chat, or any last words that you'd like to add?
Stuart can help as well. I mean, some of the things that came up. So, and they discussed flexible admission, for example. And in most of our cohorts, I would say in many cases, the majority of students have come in through flexible admissions. And as I mentioned in one of my posts there, you know, work experience, many people, when you're in undergraduate or you did an associate's degree, we've had a number of people come through the military, sports backgrounds, other things where you may not have gotten a 4-year traditional undergraduate degree. And even if you did, a lot of times that was 20, 25 years ago. It may have been in a field that may not be so relevant to what you're doing now. You know, in a way, we look much more at kind of your work experience and how you've developed yourself in your career. And many people have done multiple levels of training, technical training, leadership training, project management, all kinds of different training. And in the military, a range of training that people have done. And those things in a way prepare you well for the program. And the pieces where people sometimes struggle, and not just MBA, but across all the Royal Roads programs, because all our programs are fairly similar in this way, are academic writing. So those things may not have taught you APA style and how to do academic writing and prepare. And sometimes accounting, the numeracy side for people. That's why we have those continuing studies classes. And they're really, I've never heard a student who took them that didn't find them useful, right? Those are classes that you have to take right when you launch the program. So if you're just wondering, how can I prepare for the program? I'm not required to take them. You may want to just take them because they'll give you the feel for how a class works in that online format. They'll help prepare you. You probably will meet a number of students who will be coming into the next intake, because there's always a group of MBA and other Royal Roads students from other programs who are coming in to the next intake and taking those classes either as prerequisites or just to get ready for the intake. So that's something that you can do to sort of get ready. And some people, if you have specific questions, I'm happy to chat with you. As I say, we can connect you with different people. Stuart has his whole class. He knows people. What we can try to do is work to connect you. If you have a specific area or concern, or we were talking with Stuart's class, had a bit of a baby boom. Some people had babies right before they came in the program, some people while they were in the program. How do you manage that? How do you do your MBA and complete it juggling a newborn? So, those sorts of questions and issues, often the best is let's connect you with people who have directly done it themselves. I know they can do it because they have done it and everyone celebrates together. But we can also connect you with people to talk about their experiences. Stuart, did you want to add?
I had nothing to do with the baby boom, so that's all I can really say.
I thought you got 2 new puppies.
Yeah, I got a Great Dane puppy.
Baby boom.
I'm a puppy owner now. Yeah, no, I think Charles said it well, and I think it's just a matter of like I went in. I went through the whole process of writing the introduction letters and getting references, and I think when you get to that stage, you're really serious. So I think like I said before, just put your head down and get it done. I have to jump off. I apologize. I have a meeting at 1 o'clock, but like I said, I'm on LinkedIn. Feel free to contact me. I'm available, and if you can ask me some questions that you don't want others to hear, more than welcome, but sounds good.
Wonderful.
Well,
thank you.
Bye,
thank
everybody.
you so much, Stuart, for joining us and for
you're
your
welcome.
insight.
Have a great day, everybody. Bye.
And I know we're coming to the end of our webinar session right now. It's just about 1 o'clock. So I want to thank everybody here for joining us. Thank you, Charles and Andrea and Tracy and Kelsey, for answering questions throughout. And thank you for being here. I will be emailing out a recording of this session as well. So if there's anything that you want to revisit, feel free to watch the recording. And thank you. I hope you enjoy the rest of your afternoons.
Yeah, just a question, if we could post up in the chat Stuart's last name, so that people can contact him on the LinkedIn. Everyone's met him as Stuart. Yes, thank you everyone for being with us, and we're happy to connect you with people or answer any of your questions. And I mean, that is the Royal Roads way. We're not a huge institution. We're here to help you and work with you. So please let us know how we can help.
Charles, can I ask one question before you sign off?
Sure, Jeff, go ahead.
When you do the organizational management projects, there's sort of 3 parties there, right? Like there's the student, there's Royal Roads, and there's the business. Who owns the IP of what you produce out of that?
The student always owns the IP,
okay.
Right? And one thing that we talk to people about is this piece, and it's always a bit of a dance around what hat you're wearing, right? And especially when people, This is why it gets complicated sometimes when you do your project, say for your own company or your own organization, because they're looking at you like you're their employee. And you're like, no, 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 I'm doing this as a student wearing my student hat. I may find research information or something that may be counter to what the company, line is or whatever. Now, it can be kept confidential. It can be kept within the organization in that sense. However, you are coming at it as a researcher. If you know the answer already, or the company knows the answer already, what's the point in a way, right? So this is a true research project. But that's part of why, in some ways, it's best to just not do it for your own organization, reach an agreement with another organization and do a project for them. But the IP is always from the creator. But there are confidentiality things, some companies don't want to release information and other things. So that can be worked out.